Okay, yeah, I can share the slide. So yeah, hi guys. So thanks for doing the homework, and then so yeah, like what you guys did, I think most of you did it correctly. The only thing is what Rishi showed you guys was a more efficient way, and you should probably you should do this for like future homeworks. So now I'm gonna share the slideshow. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so this is class 2. So first we'll talk about pseudocode. So does anybody know what pseudocode is? Have you any of you heard of it before?
For all the previous Python programmers that we have here, do you want to share what you know about pseudocode? Go ahead, anyone. Just shout it out, unmute yourself, and go ahead. Okay, so it seems people don't have a lot of experience with pseudocode, so we'll just explain it. So basically, pseudocode is an easier or shorter way to write the code where you don't have to focus as much on the syntax of writing it, but it's where you plan out how you want your code to look so that you can perform whatever function you want.
So a lot of programmers and engineers, they often start with pseudocode on paper, and like on paper you just visualize kind of like what you want your program to do and how you'll do it. So you might not exactly write like perfect syntax, adding semicolons everywhere, writing like perfect statements like that, but you have a general idea of what you want your program to do. So does that make sense? So like if you wanted your program to like, let's say you made a robot and you wanted it to like move to a certain spot and like turn right. So inside the pseudocode, you'd say like, okay, I'm gonna have the function for the wheels. I'm gonna turn on motor power to this power, let it run for this amount of time, and then I'll turn at a certain degree. So that's kind of how you would make the pseudocode.
Can somebody tell me the importance of writing pseudocode?
Pseudocode helps like it's human readable. Like it's intended for humans to read it, like non-programmers, non notes on how your program is going to run.
Yeah, so does
Also,
anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
so also you can like look for errors instead of like trial and error in the actual code. Like say you're making like a program for a robot, say you have like an error with the wheel in the pseudocode, you can see you might have an error instead of having to do all the code and seeing you have an error later.
Yeah, so another reason why pseudocode is important is because it lets you first think about how you're going to have to plan out your program, what external methods you're going to have to make, and you can do all of that without having to worry about syntax. So we can move on to the next slide.
Okay. Okay, so now we'll talk about the primitive data types. So you guys know like how we mentioned that there's different variables that we can use, right? There's integer, float, double. All of these that you see are essentially variables that we can create. So these are the most basic variables that you can create in Java. That's why they're known as primitive data types. And data types is just a fancy word of saying things that store values. Okay. So a byte. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so all of these are just the basic ones, and they're used for different things in order to create different types of variables. So we can go over them one by one now. Satyam, go ahead.
Yeah, so a byte has the size of it, as it says, is 1 byte. So every single data type has a certain limitation to the number of numbers or number of values that they can store. So an integer is 4 bytes, and it can only go to a certain value. Right? So long as you go further down, you can have more data in it. A float is for decimal places, so like it'll be able to like 3.999. That's a type of float value. You can't do it with the integer or long. So like all the first three, they're all whole number values. Okay. And then double is essentially when you have it's again decimal places, but just it can store more decimal places. Boolean is true or false values. So Boolean will only accept either true or false. You got to write the words true or false. And also it will equate values. So like if you say does x equal to 2, then like the Boolean response would be true or false.
Yeah,
Wait, why
so
are there check marks coming up on the screen? Or is only for me?
no, that's coming up for us too. I'm not sure why.
I think someone is editing it. Like
you can draw on that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, who's drawing on it?
Can you guys not draw? Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, yeah. Just in the future, please don't draw on the screen. But yeah, the most important ones out of here are integer, float, and Boolean. We're going to be using those ones probably the most because they're the most common. Int is just for integers if you want to create variables that are integer numbers. And float is obviously numbers that have decimal points, and Boolean, which is true or false. So those are the ones we're going to be focusing on the most, so make sure you know what they mean.
So before we continue on, I want to just quickly show you guys how you create variables. I know some of you might know it, but really quick, I just want to show everyone how we can create variables. So really quick. Or should you want to share your screen or should I? Either way.
I can share my screen.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So in the primitive data types, it said the Boolean was 1 bit, but what does a bit mean?
So
byte, it's just the amount of data that it can hold. Like, for example, if you have in one variable, the amount of data you can hold in that variable, because you have to think of a variable as like a box. Think of it as a box inside the program. It's how big that box can be for whatever content you put inside the variable. Does that make sense?
Okay, because the other ones were bytes, but then this one was a bit.
So yeah, bit is essentially 18 or I think 12 or 18 bytes make a bit. So a Boolean holds that value. It holds like 12 or 18 bytes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just another unit.
Yeah. So, and to put bytes into reference, so bytes are essentially, you guys remember, you guys know like when you have memory or storage in your computers, you see like 10 megabytes, 10 gigabytes, or 12, right? So 12 gigabytes. So 1 byte is this. So 1024 bytes make a kilobyte, 1024 of those make a megabyte. So like,
yeah, it's just unit values for how much storage it can have.
So yeah, all computers are always.
Sorry for jumping in. This is Umang. I think bit is the smallest one. A byte is 8 bits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right,
you got that wrong. Just want to correct that. Bit is the smallest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go over how you create variables now. So what does everybody know? Does anybody know what a variable is, or just share what you know about a variable?
A variable is like it holds information.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all a variable is really. It's a name that you give to an arbitrary value that you can set as whatever you want. So we're going to teach you how to create variables. So we're going to create an integer variable. So how we're going to do that is we're going to say int x equals 1. So what we've done right here is we've created an integer with the variable name x that has the value of 1. So what we're doing here in int x is first we're initializing this variable as x as an integer. We're saying we're going to create this x and we're going to set x as an integer. So that means that whatever we're going to put in the box, integer x has to be a number. So another way we can write this is if we say int x and then say x equals 1. So why this works is because first you're initializing the variable as x as an integer, and then you're setting the value as 1. So saying this and saying this are the exact same thing.
Okay.
Does everyone understand that?
Yeah, can everybody do that by themselves also? So you guys can use any of the data types that we mentioned. So float or anything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We can also do something like this. Float equals 0.1234, right? That would be.
What if we put a float and we put an integer number?
I mean, you can do that because it still technically doesn't have any decimal. Technically, it does have decimal points, but if you do this, it works. But it doesn't really make sense to use a float unless you need decimal points. So I would suggest using integer if
Yeah,
you want.
but it would create an error if you had an integer and you had like 1.0, then it creates an error.
Yeah, makes sense.
So can all of you guys try to do that on your computers?
So I'm gonna show the primitive data types again.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember you guys can use any one of these to do the same thing. So it's the exact same process that Rishi showed. If you're using a long, you just say long x equals 5, semicolon. Okay.
I have a question from last week. Like you said in system dot like the print thing, when you print it, you have to use double quotes, but can you use single quotes?
So you can use single quotes if it's a character.
So like a singular character?
Yeah, like A, B, C, or D.
Okay, so
So
double quotes.
that's care, yeah.
So if I wanted to print a single character, I could use single quotes.
You could, but it's like common practice to use double quotes in terms of syntax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Java will recognize either way as a character.
Yeah, Satyam, you can go to the next slide.
So yeah, this is what we were doing, variables. You guys can see the syntax here. Integer Bob. So that's just creating a variable Bob right here.
Yeah, so can somebody tell me what we're doing in this line here that says int Bob? I used a specific word when describing it. What are we doing to this variable Bob?
We're initializing it?
Yes, good job.
So can you guys give me examples of what we could put inside of Bob? What could we assign Bob equal to?
7.
Uh-huh. So what about Palash? What about you? What other things could you put inside that?
11.
Yeah. So any integer whole number you could put. Yeah. Okay. Loops. So loops are very important inside of Java, and loops essentially allow us to loops are essentially, there's 3 types of loops commonly we use: for loops, while loops, and if else loops. And loops essentially allow us to do processes multiple times in Java, and also it like kind of allows it allows us to like basically choose between statements. Like sometimes in Java, everything is like very situational, right? Like if a person types 1, you might want to do something else. If a person types 2, you might want to use something else. So if else loops, for example, allow you to do that.
Yeah, so another thing you guys might have, 1 second. Yeah, so as you guys might have noticed, Java is like all about trying to reduce the amount of stuff that you have to write. So loops make it really useful. So as this example says, you won't have to print hello world 12 times. You could just put it in a loop. So we're going to go into what each different type of loop is used for.
So if else loops, those the loops I was talking about for like making decisions essentially in Java. So it's to meet conditions. So if meeting one condition, it'll do something. Else it meets another condition, it'll do something else. So example we have is essentially we created this class, and in the main method, so what do we do here, guys? So you guys can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
So Ritwik Prasad, can you tell me what we did in this line? Bob.
So Bob is the integer.
So what are we doing to Bob?
You're making Bob equal 1.
No, this line.
A variable.
Yeah, so
remember the specific word we went over earlier? What are we doing right here by saying int Bob? We're setting Bob as an integer. So what's that called? It's okay if you don't know. Yeah, so that's called initializing a variable. What we're doing here is we're setting Bob as an integer, and that's where you initialize Bob, and then we give Bob a value.
Yeah. So, Arish, can you tell me what we're doing on the line below that?
We're giving the value of Bob. So in this line, we're making Bob equal to 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. So that's pretty much what we're doing. Okay, so next line we say if Bob is less than 0. That's what this line essentially is saying. If Bob is less than, so this is essentially asking a question, is Bob less than 0? Right? So in this case, Bob is not less than 0. So whatever you put inside of here, so in Java, everything is bounded by these curly brackets. So
Yeah, they
everything
define
inside
what's going inside the if statement and the else statement.
Mm-hmm. So if you also guys make if you want, you guys can write this right now. We'll be doing a bit more of it, but if you guys get started on this, you guys can write it. So
yes. So one other thing I just want to point out is, as you can see in front of the if statement, you have these parentheses that say Bob is less than 0. So what these parentheses are is they're parameters. So what parameters do is they tell like under what condition you want something to happen. So remember also when we were creating methods, after the name of each method, we would put two parentheses. So what you put in those parentheses are the parameters for those functions. So we haven't gotten into using those parameters yet, but I just want you guys to know that those parentheses are used for parameters as shown in this if else statement.
yeah. So so again, I was saying, everything inside of these curly brackets is what will be processed if this statement is true. If this parameter is true, everything over here will be processed. So in this, we printed something out. So if this statement was true, it'll print this out, and it would, yeah. So in this case, what do you guys think here? Charvi, from this statement, what do you think would print out in our console? Yeah, so it's fine if you don't know. So it's like we said, if Bob is less than 0, it'll go into this statement. So we know as Bob is equal to 1, it's not going to go into the statement.
So
right?
that's when we have the else for. So
yeah.
if Bob is less than 0, then it'll print hello Rohit. Bob is 1. So is 1 less than 0?
No.
Yes. So since Bob is not less than 0, it'll go to the else statement. So else system.out.println hello. So now Charvi, can you tell me what's going to get printed when we run this code? Hello, Charvi, can you hear me? Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
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 Charvi, so do you want to try again now? What do you think will get printed when we run this code?
I think Charvi might be having some issues. So how about Dia? What do you think would be printing here?
Hello.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good job.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain to the class why it will be hello?
Because after else it says system.out.println and then it says hellos.
Yeah, good job.
Because Bob is not less than 0.
Yeah, nice. So we can move to the next slide now. Does everyone understand if else? Any questions about if else? These are really important, so please ask if you have any questions.
No.
Okay, so can anybody identify any small error though in this code?
Yeah, there's no
There's
semicolon.
Yeah,
there's no
all right, good
semicolon.
job. You guys caught that. So yeah, good job. Yeah, these two statements, there's no semicolon. So good job. You guys caught that. All right. So moving on to the next one. So now we're going to do an activity. So create a Boolean variable and call it happy. Assign
Happy
it.
is the name of the variable.
Yeah. So create a Boolean. Yeah. And then assign it to true. So make happy equal to true. And write an if else statement that says, so if it's going to check, your if statement should check, and the parameter should check if happy is equal to true, then print I am happy. And then in your else statement, you should have I am not happy.
So can
So
everybody take a second to write that in their code, and then let's see if everybody can do that, then we can move on. If not, then just let us know, and then you can
yeah,
share.
another thing I want to show you guys is make sure that in the else statement there are no parameters. Okay, only the if statement has a parameter, and the else statement just has another like condition statement.
Yeah, so no parameters in the else statements.
Wait, so if happy is not equal to true, we print I am not happy.
Yes.
No, so like
Well,
in practice, yes, but you don't want to write that. So you don't put else if happy does not equal to true. Right?
yeah, so we want you guys to
Yeah.
figure it out. Like just try on your own first,
Yeah,
and then we'll go over it. How you guys can do this, you have to write if this is true, then do this. If this is true, then do this using if else statement. Okay, so we'll take a couple minutes. It's 2:38, so at 2:40, then we can see if everyone was able to do it.
Let me know if you guys need to see the screen again.
Can I see the screen again?
Yeah, sure. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Is it big enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys are done, make sure you run it in your IDE.
If you're done, then just put it in the chat box saying you're done.
Can we go back to the if else slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Arish and Palash are done. Also, guys, remember that your program has to be set as whatever you put as your class name. Oh, Rithwik, it says you raised your hand.
Wait, what? Oh, I didn't.
Rithwik G.
Oh, wait. Yeah, so what mine's is saying is that it's saying I ran my program and it's saying that java.lang.class.not found exception. Could not find or load main class.
Okay, is the name of your program saved as whatever you set as public class and then whatever that is? Is that the name of your program?
Yeah, it's called main and my class is called main.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Okay.
Wait, what's
set
the
the-
if and else statement?
Sorry?
What's the if and else statement? Like, what are we supposed to write if it's true? Or
So I think it was Boolean happy.
Wait,
oh, okay.
Set the Boolean happy.
wait, can you see it?
Yeah. First of all, you didn't save it. That might be part of it.
Wait, but like it is saved. I don't know. Okay.
It's not. Are you on Sublime?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little dot thing instead of the X means it's not saved.
Oh, it does. Okay, wait.
Yeah, you're fine now. Now run it.
Wait, yeah, still got it. Wait, can you see my terminal?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, you don't have a semicolon after Boolean happy equals true.
Oh, okay.
Save it and then try rerunning it.
Wait, yeah, I saved it because it shows the X.
Now try rerunning.
Oh, it still gave me that.
I don't think you're running it the correct way in the terminal. Oh, okay. You have a main method inside your main method.
Oh,
And then make sure your
Try to make
parentheses are right then.
Yeah, try to make sure they line up too. You're missing
Yeah, so like
curly
your true
bracket after
statement is
if.
closed. For your if statement, yeah, it's not closed. So after your system.out.println and I'm happy, there should be a closed bracket. Yeah.
Can I share my screen? Because I'm also getting errors.
Sure. 1 second. Let's just
Wait,
make sure
you
Rithwix
said-
is working first.
the exact same thing.
Rithwik, I don't think you're running it the right way. Because the problem isn't it's getting an error. It's not doing anything. It's just not running.
I don't know.
Have you always been running it that way in your terminal?
Yeah, so just type Java and then I just drag this here and then it gives me whatever, basically what it is. And then I press
Okay, also
enter.
you're still missing a parentheses. You don't have an ending bracket for main. Public class main. There's no ending bracket. Did you save it as a Java file? Main.java.
Okay, I think now it should work because like the logo changed.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
true has to
True is
be-
not capital.
Oh, cool.
Save it. Did you save it?
Yeah, okay. Okay, now it works.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
Vidusha, you can now share your screen.
Vidushi, you have an extra semicolon. Okay, so Vidushi, do you remember when we went over initializing variables?
Initializing variables?
Yeah, we did that about like 20 minutes ago in class. Remember we had to say int x before we could say x equals 1?
So before happy, do I have to put
Boolean. Yeah, nice. So another thing, you have your program set as hello world class.java, but in your program you have the class named as first class. So you have to make sure they're the same.
okay? Is this correct now?
Yes. Okay, save it and then, oh wait, you have an extra semicolon. What's the semicolon for after the first one you have in the if statement? Line 5.
This one?
No, down,
This one?
up, down. In between
Oh,
those two.
here. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, okay, so save that and then try running it. Make sure you save it.
How do I save it?
You have to compile it.
Yeah, here. So if you see in the top right corner, there's like a hammer. In the yeah. So
Yeah, the
you see the
hammer.
hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you have to compile your code. Remember we talked about how compiling, you have to
Okay.
do that.
Now,
Now
press
click
escape
save.
so you can see that top menu. Yeah, so go to that top menu area. You see, I don't know, like, you know how
Bring
like
your
there's that
mouse
drop
all the
down.
way to the top. Bring your mouse all the way to the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
you
then
see
go
that
to
thing that
run.
says run. Yeah,
Yeah.
run first class. Yeah, click on
Click
first
first
class.
class. Yeah.
Or
First
no,
class,
you're
hello world class.
yeah, hello world. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So can you tell me, Vidush? Oh, okay, yeah. But since we were just looking at your code, why your result was I am happy?
Because we already said that happy was equal to true.
Yeah. So can somebody tell me what will happen if instead of the word happy as my variable name, I put sad?
Then it's
it'll
going to
give you an error because
give you
happy is not defined in the if statement.
No, I mean like, wait, can somebody who's done share their code, share their screen?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, sure.
Share the screen. Share.
Wait, on BlueJ, how do you run the code again?
Run.
I am not familiar with BlueJ.
Actually, see stuff.
Wait, yeah, okay, so whose screen is this that I'm looking at right now?
Mine.
The run.
Dia, okay. So if you set, yeah, so you have Boolean happy equals true. So if you replace this word happy to sad, can you change it to sad? And then change this one to sad, yeah. And then change the one in the if statement to sad. And then don't run it. Don't run it. Can somebody tell me what will happen now?
It will say I am happy. It will say I am happy.
Okay, any other guesses?
It's going to say I am happy.
Yeah, it's gonna say I am happy.
Yeah, good job. So the variable name doesn't matter. It's just based on what you set it as. So you have if sad equals true. So here's something I want to go over that's really important. 1 equal sign means that you're setting a variable, but 2 equal signs means that you're checking.
Okay.
So you'll have to add another equal sign. Yeah, so that means you're checking if sad equals true inside of your if statement.
Another thing you could do is you could write just sad. If you write if sad inside here, it's Booleans have a special value of it kind of only exists only if it's true. So you put if sad, this will also work.
Okay.
So press that hammer symbol.
Hammer.
Wait, I have a question. You said that 2 equal signs is like a check, But in
Yes.
my code, it works with only one equal sign. I just put
For Booleans, it'll work like that, yeah. Or
For
you can
Boolean,
write just the
yeah.
variable.
For Booleans, it'll work, but if you were to set like an integer value, it will not work with only one equal sign because 2 means checking.
Yeah, good job.
Okay.
So does anybody else have a doubt? Or Ritvik Prasad, you can share your screen. You had a question.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Also, okay, is everybody done? If you're not done, then unmute and say. Okay, cool. We can move on.
Okay. So, yep. Let me share.
Wait, I've done like writing the code, but I can't find a way to run it because every time I click the hammer, nothing happens.
Oh yeah, Arish,
Yeah,
can you share your
nothing.
screen?
Wait, Arish, when you click the hammer, it's not gonna run the code. It's just gonna compile it. You have to run it
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Arish yeah, okay. So yeah, you press the hammer, right? So after that, you see the run. It says on the top, all the way at the top, where it says, yeah, run. So press that run. Oh wait, press the hammer again.
Okay, wait. First, you have to make sure it's compiling. I don't think it's compiling.
Yeah, Arish, you need one more parentheses, curly bracket to close the code. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
now press
try
it.
to compile it.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Okay, try clicking. Try running the code. Actually, it's not gonna work unless it's compiled anyway.
Wait. Oh, I think you may have created this the wrong. Okay, you see that thing that says projects on the side?
Here?
Yeah. Now click on that.
Here?
Uh-huh. Go to IDEA. Where's your source?
I have no idea. Actually, I think I just made a new file and then.
Yeah, you haven't made a Java class. Because you are not inside a source folder. Okay. I can help you after class. Okay.
Okay.
So just right now, yeah, just create the file because what you've made is not a Java class. That's the issue.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. I think let's do the last part today. Okay.
Yeah, I think we were gonna go over two other types of loops, but
we can go over next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so we'll just briefly introduce for loops. So for loops are.
Or instead, Arishi, do you want to go over the homework?
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine too. Okay, both of the homework is for loops and while loops. So.
Okay, let's just create a homework for if-else loop. So, okay, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to I want you guys to create an if statement inside an if statement. So here, let me show you guys what I mean.
Right here. Wait, do this. Do a loop where you say if some integer value equals or is less than or equal to 5, then do another for loop, another if else statement, and if it is less than or equal to 4, then do something, and if it's at that point, if it's 5, then do something else. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does everyone understand what I'm saying?
Yes, you're basically saying that like if it's less than 5, you check if it's less than 4, but if it's not less than 4, then you say that it was 5, and if
then,
it's not less than 5, then you say that it's greater than 5.
So let me just write out the homework. So everyone. So
Okay, so while she's writing out the homework, I'll just show you guys this. So another thing, so let's say we have this, right? Let's say I made this an integer. So I made this integer happy, right? I created this and I made this 8, right? So I think what Rishi's trying to say is this. So like, let's say if I said if happy is greater than 0, right? So if you want to do another condition statement, you can also do this. So there's something called else if. So else if, essentially, you put another statement. So let's say if I wanted, like, let's say I put this less than. So this is not true, right? So if I wanted to go into another one, I could say if happy is less than
9. Just do less than 9.
Yeah, less than 9. Okay, so if it's less than 9, then it'll also do this one. So system something, right? So
Yeah, so just a couple things. Like if you were to put an if else statement inside an if else statement, it's the same thing as putting an else if.
yeah,
Does everyone get that? Because you're saying another condition.
Wait, but
wait,
wouldn't
Arishi, I don't
it
think
not
it's the
be?
same.
That's not the same thing because if happy is less than 0,
In
the
some
else-
cases, it's the same. So the example I just gave you, where like if it's less than 5, do this. If it's less than 4, do this. Then it's the same thing. In that specific instance, it's the same.
Wait, but wouldn't that not run? Say you put if happy is less than 5, and if it's true, then it won't actually go to the else if. So don't you have to put that if inside?
Yeah, but you'd have to separate. It is the same if you separate the like system.out.println if you like distribute it to each of the else ifs.
Yeah, anyway, so I think you guys should use this one. I think it would be easier to just, does anybody have any questions about this else if statement? So remember, else has no parameters in it if and else if statements do. So you always need to end with an else. So after else, I can't put else if. That's not correct, okay? So I can put as many else if statements inside here. Else if something, right? So I can put as many as I want in here between the if and else, okay? And make sure you are always bounding them with the curly brackets. It'll show you like this, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we'll come up with a homework assignment then.
Yeah, we'll post the slides, the video of this meeting, and then Arushi will also send the homework in detail as well.
Yeah. I'll
Does
put it on
anybody have any
Google
other
Classroom.
questions?
No.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So everybody was able to run the code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Nice. Okay. See you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Just Arish, you can stay. I can help you with that.
Okay, bye.